This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Jason Brewer, the CEO of Marula Mining, following both a full quarterly update across many aspects, or all the aspects of the business, where, Jason, you were quoted saying, Marula has made significant strides in advancing its operations, achieving key milestones during the period. Well, we'll come on to the quarterlies in a moment and get a comprehensive update, but let's focus on the news that's only just come out. That's, of course, news regarding Nyorinyori, that Marula have secured a 75% interest in 10 graphite mining licenses that you consider highly prospective for graphite by the company's management. So just give us a bit of rationale behind this here to get us started. Clearly, you and the team feel it's worthwhile taking these extra license applications.
Sure, Mark, and thanks. It's great to be here again. Nyorinyori, as I think I've said a few times, is one of those projects which has really raced up the pecking order in terms of our priorities. From various site visits myself, representatives of Q Global Commodities, and our own management and geological consultants have done, that area has proven to be very attractive for graphite, and the style and the grade of the mineralization that we've seen, the flake size of the mineralization that we've seen, has really put a bit of an impetus on us to secure a bigger land holding around that area. So today's announcement is very much that. It's about securing an additional 10 granted mining licenses with a group called Nyorinyori Mining Company, which is a Tanzanian company. Licenses that are located less than 100 meters from our own Nyorinyori project, which we have in joint venture with Takela. So strategically, very important for us to build upon our position there, because it's a project and an area where we think there's going to be some significant graphite mining development, certainly by us, over the coming months.
Okay, and of course you've got a method of paying for this, which is by issuing shares in Marula, and I think the initial payment there of 125,000 has been done at a price of 12.5 pence, which is a premium to today's share price. But there are four further share-based payments, which would be £250,000 each. Is there some concern here about dilution, because that's a fairly significant sum of money there to get these licenses?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's no doubt the level of interest in licenses in this area has ratcheted up several fold, and we're probably to be blamed for part of that because of what we've put out on that region. There are multiple Chinese groups in that region. There are 2 graphite processing plants actually being built as we speak in that region. So look, the licenses are attractive, and that commands a price. We agreed with Nyorinyori that there was going to be no cash going out of this project. All cash that we're going to have has to go into the project development, has to go into exploration, has to go into trenching, drilling, and other test work to prove this up. So the initial issuance of shares there at a 12.5 pence level basically secures us that interest. Then, and only when we make material milestones, technical milestones, when we complete next phase of exploration work, resource drilling, a decision to mine, and even when we produce the first $1 million worth of cells, it's only then that there are triggers which are issued, which cause the issue of further shares. So from a dilution point of view, I can see people saying, yes, there's shares being issued, but I also like to point out that shares will only be issued once material positive aspects of the project are achieved. You know, when we make a decision to mine, when we've achieved, $1 million worth of commercial graphite sales out of these Nyorinyori licenses, the value of this project is going to be worth tens of millions, probably more than that. So, dilution for dilution's sake, no, and I hate that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you're securing such a strategically important license like this, you want to make sure that everybody is aligned, and that's why we've done it on a share-based.
Okay. Well, what is the plan here then? Of course, you say you're working with Geofields on the next phase of exploration here. You've got to fund approximately $250,000 of activities to go through to a feasibility study. And then you're saying to me here things like, when we've achieved $1 million worth of sales, certain things will trigger with of course, regards to the ownership there. So you've got some big plans here, it sounds like. You're not shying away.
No, look, this area around Moshi in Tanzania, like I say, when we've been there, we've seen that the style of graphite mineralization that you have at Nyorinyori, and which we can see extends across into these licenses, then it clearly demonstrates an opportunity to fast track the development of these licenses and a mining operation there. It's already on a granted mining license, so we haven't got to go through a very long, arduous process to commence mining. That can happen. Clearly, we're going to do additional work. That additional work is going to be additional sampling, trenching, pitting, test mining, and a lot of sampling going through, because what we've seen at that Nyorinyori area is visual graphite that's over 90%. So you can see it. It's almost like a coal seam to a large degree. And we've put out many pictures and videos of what we've seen in Nyorinyori. So we've got to look at a way of how we can actually get some of this material to the market. One of the local Tanzanian groups here has already shipped a container load of this material through to India and sold it as a DSO product and achieved close to $2,000 a ton for this. So, that in itself is, testament to the sort of quality of material here. We need to now look at how we can do it as a large-scale mining company and develop it in the best possible way.
So you'll be working with Geofields quite closely on the next phase of exploration. When would you hope to be able to announce something regards that?
Look, they're going to be on site on the Nyori Green sites in the next week or two. So the idea there is to do this very systematic mapping, sampling across all 10 of these licenses at the same time as they're doing it at Nyori. So they've got 20 licenses to work their way through. So quite a significant landholding there.
They'll be kept busy then, for sure, it sounds like. Presumably all this activity is costed for already, Jason? Absolutely. And one of the tranches of funding that we secured through Q Global Commodities allowed funding to go towards the Tanzanian projects, both Kinusi and the graphite projects. And look, their head of exploration, their head geologist was up on site with our chairman, Richard Lloyd, last month. So with that in mind, they're very positive about this project, and the graphite is something they're very keen to get behind and support us as we push it forward. Okay. Well, let's just catch up and get a bit of a state of the nation on some of the other projects following the quarterlies there, which I know they were a bit delayed, weren't they, the quarterlies? I think just because you were very busy.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments from shareholders saying, where are these quarterlies? The challenge has been we've had so much stuff going on at Blesberg in Zimbabwe, here in Kenya, up in Tanzania, obviously with the deal we've just announced here at Nyori Green. So a lot going. So this was always pushed to the back whilst we've formalised a lot of these negotiations, but we've got it out. The reality is we're going to get the next quarter's report out in the next couple of weeks. So, so there's going to be a lot of news, and it's a great summary document more than anything else, I think.
It is, for sure. But let's just get a catch-up on where Blesberg is. Key things I picked up from that is you've had a lot of infrastructure development. You've done a lot of sampling and processing of the high-grade spodumene there from the historic stockpiles. You're getting into, perhaps, I think, starting exploration for hard rock. A lot of new equipment's arrived, hasn't it? US dollars 1.2 million of mobile mining equipment has arrived, and, of course, the increase of the stockpiles there. So how are things shaping up? How are things looking on the ground at Blesberg?
Look, we've just had our COO, Tokus van Heerden, up there. He was up there early part of this week, and he took some consulting mining engineers up on site that had actually been there late last year. So it was their first visit in about 9 months. And they were just overwhelmed at the progress that's been made there. Progress in that infrastructure, the haul roads, the site offices, the core shed. But this isn't kind of dongers or sea containers. This is proper bricks and mortar that we're building there, because we think it's going to be quite a significant operation. So they're seeing that there. They're seeing obviously a significant amount of new equipment. You mentioned the 1.2 million there. That was during the quarter. We then picked up almost half of that again. So we've spent close to nearly $2 million on brand new Bell equipment on site to push ahead with the operations. On top of that, you've got all the processing work And we're actually doing the civil works and the foundations, the cement plinths for the new processing, the 2 new XRF sorters and a new crushing and screening circuit. So there's a tremendous amount of work happening there. Mining rates, processing rates are going up, and the stockpiles have increased significantly as we look to finalise the offtake agreement for on a long-term basis here for Blesberg fairly shortly. So that again is something which has delayed the quarterly because that's been a lot of my time getting in order.
Yeah, well, the offtake is, of course, a very key element. You say it's going to come shortly, so let's wait and see on that. Hopefully not too much longer to wait, Jason.
No, look, I know everybody's asking about that. There's 3 parties which we're really working with hard now. And when you're working with 3 parties, that takes up 3 times more time than it would be with one, unfortunately.
Sure. Okay.
There's one that we want to deal with very much, and they've been doing a tremendous amount of test work, both independent and putting it through their own flotation plant. That work has already come back positive, so they're just waiting for the final metallurgist report as well. So a lot of work which is needed. And remember, this is something we believe is going to really underpin the economics of the Blesberg operation, not just for reprocessing those stockpiles over the next 24 months, but the longer hard rock operation, which we're obviously drilling out at the moment. So, yeah, there's a lot of work going into that for sure.
Thank you very much for that update. Let's just talk now on the Kinusi Copper Project. That's, of course, in Tanzania, where you've completed phase 1 exploration, confirmed presence of the copper mineralized corridor. You've got sample assay results pending, I believe, and also you've confirmed plans to install copper processing plant there and start the small-scale mining operations. Again, negotiations for the initial copper offtake agreement. So again, another significant piece of the puzzle there to secure those offtake agreements. But again, bit of a snapshot from your point of view on Kinusi and where things are going, particularly with regards to that offtake agreement and sales.
No, we've got that processing plant, that modular processing plant there in South Africa. It's going to be transported up in October and installed, commissioned, such that we will have first product coming out of Kinusi in Q4 2023. So that's quite an exciting thing for us. It will be our second mining operation, literally within 12 months of being a true mining company. So excited by that. We have the assay results, which we hope to get out, if not tomorrow, then very early in the new week. So that's something which we're busy working through along with a number of other key announcements. The offtake parties, conference calls yesterday, later this afternoon. Again, just formalising those arrangements now. And it's both for the initial, I think we're looking at an initial 12 to 24 month period, just whilst we get this modular plant operating and whilst we really get to grips with the larger opportunity there at Kinusi. There's a number of parties in that area that have approached us, seen the progress we've made and want to work with us. So the opportunity to build a significant processing plant there to process not just our material, but other material is something we're considering as well. So yeah, Kinusi is moving ahead fast. We like the grades. Our geos, QGC's geos and geofields are busy working out the resource drill program now, which we hope to confirm in Q4 in the next week, couple of weeks, and then obviously mobilize drillers to get that drilling completed. So we've got a JORC compliant resource statement available to us to justify a bigger mine development there.
Okay, fantastic. So again, lots going on at Kinusi. Let's just quickly see about Bagamoyo, another graphite project in Tanzania. This is a bit more of early stage, is it? Less activities have gone on, but you have completed the phase 1 preliminary exploration where you confirmed 2 trends and you're expecting assay before the end of the quarter, which, well, is kind of now, I suppose.
No, we've got those assays out of Bagamoyo, so they were fantastic. I think there was 2 mineralized trends there going over a kilometre. The key one, the grades came back. The average grade was about 11.9%. We had a number of very high grade samples which came back in the high teens, like the 19 plus 19%. So look, we were very happy with Bagamoyo. The next phase of work is the drill out there. But the next phase of work, as well as the drill out, is optimizing the land holding. That project comprised 22 mining licenses, granted mining licenses. So as part of this phase one work, we're now honing in on which ones to focus. We'd love to keep all 22 mining licenses, but we really need to focus. And the identification of these 2 graphite bodies there allows us to do that. So there's a bit of work to be done on that. And then we move into a major trenching program across that big. There was one there which extended for over 500 meters at surface. It was quite incredible to see. We're going to do some big trenching there, and we're going to get the resource drills out. So that's Bagamoyo. It's kind of, it's moved down the pecking order, but not because it ain't good. I think those assay results confirm just how good it is. It's just slipped down there because, damn, Nyorinyori is looking pretty good. Kinusi's a lot of mine development, and Blesberg, the amount of investment we put in Blesberg over the past couple of months now has been very significant. So, we've got the portfolio is looking quite good, very strong.
There's a lot going on, and of course you're possibly looking to expand it further, aren't you, with Zimbabwe, where from the quarterlies there, evaluation and due diligence work is ongoing for potential acquisition targets and joint venture opportunities, and you're looking at several producing and advanced projects. Anything you can share on opportunities in Zimbabwe at the moment?
Yeah, look, we were kind of holding back on completing some transactions in Zim and and here in Kenya, until we completed the change of our primary listing in London, be it the standard list, be it AIM. But, because that's been delayed as a result of some of the technical consultants, legal consultants being available to complete the work and so on, there's a bit of pressure on us to actually get these deals done now. So Zimbabwe, as many people in London know, it's one of the biggest lithium producing countries in Africa. In the world. It's got the 6th largest reserves in the world. So there's significant lithium there. And we've had a team there for the past several months. We've got a country manager that's done a lot of review work. So I think we're at the point now where we've got to, not just dip our toe in, we've got to jump in at the deep end and start to deliver there. So I think that's something certainly which will come to the fore in the coming soon.
Okay, soon. Okay. Well, there's an awful lot going on, Jason. Also, just some points of note that you did raise, I think, just under £300,000 from converting of some warrants there. So that's bringing in some cash into the company. If I was to try and sum up what's going on, I mean, of course, there's a lot of activity. Blesberg really want to finalise that offtake agreement there. Nyorinyori get exploring on the ground, given these new licenses as well, starting some of that mapping and sampling work. At Kinusi, you're going to get the plant installed in around this time now, and want to be producing in Q4, but also further resource drilling there. Bagamoyo, you're looking to start a trenching program fairly soon, and we wait to hear on developments from Zimbabwe. Does that sum everything up fairly well there? And also, you just look like a one-man band. There's more people in the company, as I noticed from the key management appointments there. But, there's a lot of work there for you to get on with.
Yes, a tremendous amount of work. And the fact that we have strengthened the team over the first 6 months of this year, the executive management team, the board as well, demonstrates it's not a one-man band. It's not a one-man band. Yes, you may see my mug on here every now and then, Mark, but there's others. And the team is growing because it has to. We've got all these projects to deliver. We've got a team ready to mobilize to Tanzania for Kinusi. Some very good technical people there to commission that project and get that going. So you summed it up pretty well. A lot going on. We are focused. We've got some key projects we've got to deliver on, and we will deliver on them. So I think what we've achieved over the past quarter, the first, 9 months of this year, I think has been great. But it's only achievable because of the people that are working with me. So all credit to them as well.
Well, thank you very much for your time today. Jason Brewer, the CEO of Marula Mining, and I look forward to following all the developments at Marula, possibly speaking to some of the board members when appropriate on the different projects. But for now, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.